Hey guys, welcome back to the Blue Collar Future Podcast. I'm your host, Jaden Robison, and we've got our co-host, Jessie Demler, with us again today. What's up, Jessie?
Hi, dude. How are you?
Dude, it is weird this time of year. It's weird. I'm freaking tired. It's like, feels like bedtime because it's so dark already. So,
Hey, dude. We're past the solstice, so the day's gonna get longer now.
Yes, we are. It is crazy how much that can affect us. It's like,
right.
I get so sick of going to work in the dark and then coming home and it basically being dark by the time I'm cleaned up and stuff. I'm like,
No.
It's like, okay, it's bedtime now, I guess.
Yeah, it's garbage, bro. Like, I just want to be able to go walk around outside with the pup, or go play around and go, or just do something after work. But it's like you get home, like, cool. I'll sit here, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes me wonder how
Yeah.
people even handle it up in places like Seattle, I think, that are like really cloudy all the time and dark and gloomy and stuff and rains a lot.
Yeah. All of our friends in England over the pond, wherever you live, bro.
Oh, dude, no thanks.
No, perpetual rainstorm over there, dude.
Yeah, dude. Harrison, if you're listening to this, if you happen to be, that kind of sucks.
Crazy, bro. Like, what was it when I saw they had a heat wave and it was like, looked at the temperature and it's 68 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm like, well, all right.
Shit, we probably have a heat wave right now. We're like 30 degrees over the average here. I don't know what everywhere else is doing.
Insane. It's insane. Yeah. Larry said over there on the East Coast it was like 3 degrees, so definitely not over there, but it's wild over here. Freaking, it's like 68 degrees in Salt Lake the next couple days or something.
Yeah.
Wild.
It's hard because this time of year is like, I mean, I know me and you have talked about it before. You guys kind of stay busy all through the seasons and stuff. A lot of people here have very seasonal, and like we're super seasonal, so we're pushing really hard to get enough stuff done before the winter that we can kind of, I wouldn't say maybe relax, I guess, but like we can't get as much done because of weather and temperatures and storms and stuff. So it's always a hard push till usually about Christmas time, and then it cools down, and there usually snows and rains a lot. So it's really a weird time of year for working outside because you're used to the sun all the time and being outside, and then like you start getting gloomy, but it's like it's not really that cold, so we're still working a ton. Then you get home and it's dark, and it really just doesn't make me want to do anything. I've been really slacking on a lot of stuff lately because I get home and it's like I don't want to do anything. I don't want to get on my phone. I don't want to get on my phone and make videos. I've been slacking on my content. It's crazy.
Same. Yeah, it's like I just go to work, come home. Like I don't want to do it. I just want to hang out with Christina and do nothing.
Sit around, gain weight. Maybe that's why people gain weight this time of year. Eat food, lay around.
Yeah. I am not one of those people, so.
Me either. But
I can.
Hey,
my metabolism's still through the roof, unfortunately. Well,
fortunately.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I want to see the day when Jessie starts gaining a bunch of weight anyways.
I hope y'all still call me Slim.
Yeah, right? I don't know if we could anymore. Well, dude.
What's up, dude? We got questions, right?
Yes. Yep. RFI today. Questions. So we've been a little quiet on both of us, I guess, have been a little quiet on the social medias, but me in particular. So I haven't really been good about staying on top of this. And I've actually just skipped a couple episodes. So anybody's probably listening realizes there was an episode last week and there wasn't one 2 weeks ago, I guess, or 3 weeks ago, for the same reasons what we're just talking about. But also for that reason, we haven't really been on top of gathering questions either, or much. Fortunately for me and for everybody listening, we're coming to the time of year where I have a lot of free time. So this is when I start pushing on doing stuff like this. So yeah. So what do we got for questions today?
The first one, this was from our buddy Garrett Schaefer. He wants our opinion on, do you think the market is trending up or down? Will we have more work or less work? Kind of like where we see things going. He's also a fellow brickie. If you know Garrett, he tried to set the world record for most brick laid in a day, him and Fred Campbell a little while ago. Pretty cool dude. But
cool.
Yeah.
Did they make it?
Go ahead.
Did they make it?
Yeah. So they competed. Fred set the record Fred's, if you're in the brick industry, he's just a legend. But they did a competition. They were both pretty close, but Fred ended up setting the record for, I can't remember what it is right now. Yeah, same style as like when you go to World of Concrete, but they did it for 8 hours instead of an
Jeez.
hour. Yeah, they're monsters, bro. But
How many
yeah,
jet?
but
How
yeah,
many
so
bricks could Jesse lay in comparison?
not even a third of that. Not even a quarter of that. No, no, I'd get a phone call in the middle of it and I have to go do something else. That's my
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
Um,
Unfortunate.
but yeah, dude, what do you guys mean? I mean, overall, I think, there's less spending, obviously, because no one knows what's going to go on in the market or the government or anything else right now. So I think everybody's a little more cautious. I
Hmm.
think financial trends are like money's tightening up a little bit. Uh, bonds and that sort of stuff are going the wrong way.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I feel like there still are niche markets. Like I know that Hill Air Force Base just got $250 million for construction only. Granted to them. So it's like things like that, or if you're building the data centers, or you're working like if you're working for the government or stuff like that, or the universities, there's work there, obviously, or in our case, the church is still always building stuff. But I don't know. It's obviously the residential construction slowing down, and like a lot of people aren't building a ton of stuff. But if you're in those markets and you're an established name and you've done your part and made your reputation, I think there's still work out there for you. But it's then obviously, we still got to build a million things. But I don't think it's going to be going as fast as it, or like growing as fast as it was, maybe 2021 to 23, we kind of had this explosion. It felt like, I think that's kind of out the window myself. But
Yeah.
I think if you're an established business that has a reputation, like maybe you've got all your ducks in a row and you're bonded out for a couple $1 million to do those projects and things for the government, I think you're probably good. Like Garrett's probably got all that covered. He's got his reputation, everything else.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. How's things on you? Because you're more residential than we are.
Hmm.
So what are you seeing out there?
Yeah. It's kind of hard. I've noticed that Utah seems to be a little bit. Our economy is pretty strong usually compared
Mm-hmm.
to across the United States even. So we see, I think, the recessions and all that stuff a little bit less severe. And then even where you guys are up in Logan, like you guys even
Mm-hmm.
see less of it. It seems like there's definitely slowdowns and stuff. But the thing is it's been slowing down and everybody says it's been slowing down, but we haven't seen it yet. So I mean, with this question, like for us next year, we are actually kind of unsure how it's going to be. But there's been a lot of years in the last 10 to 15-ish that I've been working that
Mm-hmm.
have been kind of like that, where it's like, oh man, I'm not sure what next year's going to be like. There's a lot of uncertainty, and we don't know if there's much work going on, and then we end up having a really, really busy year. And that goes
Mm-hmm.
back to what you mentioned with an established name and being in the business for a long time and having your reputation and a lot of people that you know. It
Mm-hmm.
always comes around. The phone keeps ringing. We've been in business for over 20 years. Dad's been doing this for a long time. So it's like we stay busy. This time
Mm-hmm.
in these markets, it's the people that are unfortunately newer companies and also not unfortunately the scab asses and the cheapskates and the crappy contractors that are not busy. So, I mean, honestly, if you're not busy,
Mm-hmm.
there's a chance it's just because you suck. I don't know. It's hard to say
Yeah.
that, but like at the end of the day, when there's a general slowdown, the good guys and the people that
Mm-hmm.
have been around for a long time stay really busy, and that's kind of just how it
Mm-hmm.
goes. So, but then like building up to that point, up to your like let's say 10 to 15 to 20-year mark in business, I think is always the struggle that people have.
Mm-hmm.
And past there's still struggles. It's still hard. You're always going to have your struggles if you're trying to grow. But if you're just
Mm-hmm.
continuing and you have all these relationships and you've been doing a good job and showing up, there's still going to be people that are building. So if you're diversified enough and you have enough projects going on, like you'll be fine. We in these markets, it's always like custom homes really
Mm-hmm.
don't stop as much. It depends on scale and stuff, but like big
Mm-hmm.
custom homes kind of keep going because a lot of those people don't care as much.
Mm-hmm.
Production homes, they kind of keep going steadily. They kind of never really come to a halt. And it's kind of like the in-betweeners. It's kind of like the people that kind of do a few spec houses here and there, and
Mhm.
those type of people that slow down a lot. And then like your homeowner jobs might not be as common to or easy to
Mhm.
find, but they're still out there. I mean, people still stay busy, and I think short of going into the Great Depression or like a 2008 thing, like it's still going to be
Yeah.
trending up because there's a housing shortage everywhere. It's there's always going to be work needed done, and as long as I think as you're aware of what's going on and ahead of the game, and yeah, really just paying attention, you should be fine no matter what. I've been looking at it from kind of an outside view, and I know like I've heard my dad, I don't even know how many times, be like, yeah, I'm not sure what the next few months are going to be like. I'm not sure what next year is going to be like. And then we
Yeah.
still stay busy. I mean, we still stay busy. It's just how it
Yeah.
goes. There might be some random little markets that slow down more than others, but in general, I think we're still going pretty good. And I mean, with these lately, with interest rates are dropping and stuff, I mean, it's just going to create another crazy boom, especially if they keep dropping them, and they do drop. I mean, if mortgage
Mhm.
rates drop to below 6 and even to 5%, I mean, it's going to then go to the moon essentially. I mean, it's going to
Yeah.
skyrocket. So it's always hard to know, and I think you just be prepared, live
Yeah.
frugally, develop your relationships with people, and you should stay busy no matter what.
Yeah, for sure.
You
I think,
guys like have your business booked out. I mean, I've asked you this before. Didn't you say you guys are like a year or two booked out or something like that?
yeah, we were right now, we're good till summer, and then we'll fill something in. It's my dad's kinda the same as you. It's like,
Yeah.
"Well, we'll see," and then all of a sudden, there's a job that lasts 6 more months, and then there's, the
Mhm.
next thing pops up and stuff like that. So it's been alright. My whole life, I've heard it's like everything's in 7-year cycles, so it's like you go up for
Mhm.
7, and then it kinda hangs out for 7 or drops for 7, and then go up for 7, and so on and so forth. So he's just always preached, in those 7-year cycles, get it while you can and make sure everything's paid off and don't, learn the lessons from 2008.
Mhm.
So it's I don't know, like I said earlier, I think if you're in those kinda niche environments, like, or you've got a good name and reputation for yourself, there's work. So
Yeah. I
it's
think
yeah.
it's hard because there were so many people back in 2008 that were super over leveraged, but I think anybody that
Mhm.
survived that
Mhm.
thing, or even people that got really burned, they kind of learned their lesson there. And I mean, it just
Mhm.
goes to show like having a bunch of cool toys isn't really that cool if you're super over leveraged on them, and
Mm.
puts your livelihood at stake, right? Like we
Yeah.
need to start looking at what we really need and what we can actually afford. Not for right now when we're making a ton of money, but for 6 months down the road when there may not be any work for a while, or maybe it slows down enough that it's like starts to get scary. And then it just takes one problem to all of a sudden drain all your savings, and then all of your debts be called and you're screwed. So I think that happened to a lot of
Mhm.
people. And as long as you're not doing that, I mean, if you live the no debt life, it'll be almost impossible to go broke at any point in any economic cycle. I mean,
Mhm.
if you're just saving your money and you're smart with it and you're not overspending all the time, like it's really hard to actually get into a really troubled place. Most of the time it's people that are super over leveraged. So I think a lot of people learned that in 2008, hopefully at
Mhm.
least.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Cool, man. I mean, we kinda agree on that one, so,
Hmm.
if you wanna get into the next one, we
Hmm.
got, I guess we got 2 different questions here, but so where do you see the next 10 to 20 years realistically in construction? 'Cause that'll kind of follow this thing, and then we'll clear up with, maybe a more personal question, more of a micro question than a macro question.
Hmm.
So, like,
Yeah.
the next 10 to 20 years of your business or, the industry as itself, how do you, like, kinda what do you see coming up?
Dude, that's the interesting part. Like people always try to forecast that far, and it's really hard to see.
Mhm.
I mean, what happens with, you know, rapid technological advances, and all of a sudden the construction process looks completely different than what it does right now. I think for the next 10 years at least, it's going to be a lot of people getting into the trades and getting into all trades. Like we're seeing a lot of kids right now getting in, and hopefully it's enough
Mhm.
to combat the people that are retiring because there's a lot of old heads around still kicking around that aren't going to be around in 10 years. And
Mhm.
I feel like for the last 10 years, people have been saying that within 5 years, all of the workforce is going to be gone. So it's kind of weird because I think that people are sticking around working longer than typical. But you're
Mhm.
gonna see a lot of people coming to the trades, a lot of people retiring, and I think that's probably gonna be the thing to watch to make sure that we're not to a point where we're super under, staffed, I guess, in construction
Mhm.
for the amount of work that's out there, because there's still gonna be things to build, but, like, if I start looking at this and say what's 20 years or 30 or 40 years gonna look like, I always kinda seem to go negative, and I'm like, "Well, how can we keep building so many things for so long?" You know? It's kind of
Yeah.
it's weird because 'cause it's been going like this forever, and it seems like it's gonna keep going like this forever. I have no idea. I mean, we're so much empty space on the earth, and somehow we still are super short on buildings and houses and stuff. I mean, how long can we even keep going at the rate we're on? I have no idea. I mean, it's weird when you start going super far out to think
Mhm.
about, like, how is it gonna look and how many new
Mhm.
things are we gonna need to build? I mean, what is the AI infrastructure gonna look like? And, I mean, are we gonna need to start tearing down and replacing old buildings with new types of some sort of new architecture or something? Or, I mean, how is it gonna look?
Mhm.
It's gonna be crazy. I mean, we know how many technological advances there have been in the last 10 to 20 years. So what is the next 10 to 20 going to be? It's going to be
For
interesting.
sure.
I mean, that's more of a bunch of questions than an answer, but I think the next 10 is going to be pretty similar to the last 10, I would say.
Mm.
And there's going to be a lot of young people joining. And in 10 years, the workforce is going to look super different. And hopefully we
Yeah.
just have enough people, I would say.
Yeah. Do you think in the next 10 years AI plays a role? Or like what role do you think it plays in our industry?
I think in 10 years there'll be a lot because I mean even in the last year and in the last two there's been a bunch of AI companies coming out and a bunch of people doing all these things. I'm imagining that in 10 years there'll be some technology that'll be really helpful rather than it's not gonna like replace people. It'll
Mhm.
just be really helpful and probably increase speed and efficiency on jobs, help us build houses faster, and as if we needed to build houses faster. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. But
But
it gets them done cheaper.
yeah, it's gonna get them done cheaper and faster, and maybe that's part of the equation that'll help combat the fact that we're gonna be short staffed. I mean, we're technically short on labor right now. It's kind of
Mhm.
like a continual short on labor in the whole industry. So yeah, that's gonna be really cool to see. I think I'm more excited to see how it goes than wanting to try to predict it, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something I see as like AI replaces like tasks. Like it's a tool to be used really.
Yeah.
Cause
Hmm.
like it's just is, the new things come on, it makes us more efficient. It takes care of the bottom end,
Hmm.
I think it kind of like if we are in a different position, like I think, maybe the accountant or the like those sort of jobs that are easily automated, not easily, but those are more easily automated than the like hands-on, like task or skill oriented, that sort of skill oriented things.
Hmm.
Like I don't see it coming into our industry. Like I think you and I have
Yeah.
talked about this before is like construction, like there's so many things about construction that are funny or, that like we can laugh at, but like change does not come quick ever in this industry.
Yeah.
Like things are done the same way that they're always done. So like I don't see AI coming in and just being like, okay, like we accepted this, in the next 5 to 10 years because things are gonna like, well, that's not how we do it.
Hmm.
But I can see there will be definitely be places for it where it comes in and helps us make like more efficiencies or, maybe helps solve that labor shortage or takes care of like the bottom end of things. Like if we're trying to make cheaper housing for like more affordable housing,
Hmm.
maybe AI and the 3D printer or that prints out the home, like that takes care of that niche. But like you with your the custom home builder, like someone who
Hmm.
wants this nice fancy home or stuff
Hmm.
like that, they're gonna pay to have that home, Like, I think you can carve out a niche, even if, like, say, it came on and was, like, doing a ton of work, I think you can still carve your spot out of, like, "Well, we do this by hand." Like,
Mhm.
this is real, and, like, you could sell that to, the crowd, if you
Well, I
will,
mean,
but, yeah.
that's even been happening this whole time. I mean, people still pay for
Yeah.
like custom made stuff rather than made in a factory or produced on an assembly line
Yeah.
type thing. Like people still
Yeah. True.
pay for that. I mean, we can compare it to the assembly line. Like look at how
Mhm.
the assembly line changed American manufacturing. Imagine something like that comes into construction.
Mhm.
It's gonna be adapted or adopted, like, very slowly, but I think at
Sure.
some point, if there's some sort of technology that is as revolutionary as the assembly line was, like, yeah, I mean, it's gonna
Mhm.
be crazy, and I think that would be really good to add in that bottom line, like you mentioned, for the affordable housing, because the problem I'm seeing right now, and I'm sure everybody is there's a shortage of houses, but there's also a shortage of, like, starter homes. Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
technically, the
that's out the
home
window.
dude, technically, the home I'm in right now is kind of like a starter home-ish, and
Mhm.
almost nobody is starting out in a home like this either. It's so freaking
Yeah.
like, we wouldn't have been able to buy it if we were buying it. The only reason we're in it is because we built it, so we saved a bunch of money.
Yeah.
But, like, you're
Mhm.
almost expected to just, like, rent an apartment and then buy a townhome and then go get into a house because all the houses are so damn big. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you guys could be in a house by now, you know what I mean? But, like, people
Yeah.
are, like, pushing to get into a townhome, like, can't even afford a townhome, and I'm like, "What the
Yeah.
crap?" Like, I remember not even that long ago when townhomes weren't even that expensive, and now they're, like, four to $500,000 depending on where you are, like, some of them are. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's
what
insane.
what? So, if we look at some of these how these some of these technologies could be, it could add in those cheap homes, and
Mhm.
there's maybe there'll be still be the same spectrum of houses we have right now, and it just adds in a lower tier of smaller houses. But we almost need to just keep building small houses. I mean, look at 50 years ago, a bunch of the houses were like 800 square feet. Nowadays, like most houses are over 1,500 square feet. And a lot of
Mhm.
houses 50 years ago didn't even have garages, and most houses nowadays are like pushing 3-car garages, like all of them. It's
Yeah.
it's like we're getting really big, and we need to start introducing smaller, more affordable houses like we used to have, because it's not I don't even think it's that much. I don't think that our economy is so skewed to where it's just not as affordable as it used to be. I think we're getting bigger, more expensive
Mhm.
things, and people expect more and want more.
Mhm.
So, like, our lifestyles are increasing, and that is like our lifestyles are increasing, inflation's increasing, and salaries aren't following either of them. So it's like
Yeah, it's going
a
like
double
this.
whammy. Yes, yeah. So it's
Yeah.
not even just inflation. Like people want to talk about inflation and how hard it is to own a home right now versus 50 years ago, but it's also the
Mhm.
lifestyle creep. I mean, 50 years ago, a lot of people probably didn't even have washer and dryer. I mean, like
Mhm.
just look at that. And people definitely didn't have these $2,000 phones that we have, these little pieces of technology. Like like you go
Yeah.
see freaking Brokies, they've got the newest phones all the time. I mean, explain that to me. So it's a really long rant
Did
to
you
say that it could help the industry with affordable houses and get us back to a reasonable place where we're not building these freaking massive homes everywhere. So,
For sure, and I think to your point, I'm like me, I don't need to go build I mean, the smallest thing you can buy is like a third of an acre, which, whatever.
mhm.
But, like, no one builds, like, little craftsman homes anymore, like you were
Yeah,
saying. Like,
yeah.
it's because think about how cool, Sugar House is super expensive in Salt Lake, but, like,
Mhm,
all those little homes, like, none of them are huge, and they're
mm-mm,
all, they're well built, they're just little homes, it's the space you need. It's like, I wanna build that. I don't wanna build 3,500 square foot house. Like, I just want that in a shop.
mhm.
But,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I agree
yeah,
with you on
dude.
that point.
Everything's getting bigger. Our trucks are getting bigger and more expensive and fancier
Mhm,
every single year. And yeah, I mean, it's expectations are up and everything is bigger and bigger and more expensive. And so it's not even,
mhm.
I mean, if we could just start introducing like cheaper tier options, I think people would eat that up. I mean, I've talked with one of my friends before about how cool it would be for them to just, for like Toyota to make a truck that's like their truck from 20 years ago and like kind of
Mm,
re-engineer it and just
mhm,
introduce this basic truck with hardly any technology. It's a little truck. I mean, imagine how many people would be out there buying it because these new ones are so overdone and expensive.
yep,
I mean, there's a market for cheaper and more reliable stuff, I guess.
mhm,
And I mean, this goes to homes too. So it's we just
mhm,
have this. Our expectations are so high nowadays, whereas like 50 years ago, yeah, you were in a home, but it was a tiny house, and you were smushing in there, and you didn't have all these amenities, and you didn't have all these streaming services and these pieces of technology that you're paying a bunch of money
mhm.
for, and yeah,
Yeah, I think looking forward, the 10, 20-year question is that higher expectations thing comes into play too, because it's people have just this expectation that everything's going to be like it was the last 4 or 5 years
hmm
of, everything's blown up. You could, like, if you wanted to go out and you had a skill, you could, go out and do as much work as you possibly
yeah,
wanted. So I think they think that's just going to continue this great, pie in the sky. But I think it'd be
hmm
better to temper expectations, like even in as a tradesperson or as a company owner or things like that. Like it's not going to all be this big explosion, but like there's obviously still things that are going to be built, every day, every area. So it's not
hmm
going to go away, but I don't think it's going to keep exponentially growing,
yeah.
if you will.
I mentioned to you before we started recording that I had some little notes I wrote down from reading the other day, and I didn't know where they were, and I
Hmm.
have them right here. And it kind of goes along with this. I don't remember who it said this was by, but it says Americans have always been stricken by the disease called luxury fever or affluenza.
Hmm.
Always want like the luxury shit and the, want to look more expensive. We want to look like we're rich and have more expensive things even if we don't. And
Yeah.
like that's what's happened. That's permeated through everything. It's permeated into the cars,
Hmm.
it's permeated into the houses. Like that's been more of what's happened rather than like inflation. I think inflation and salaries have matched, but everything has just gotten more expensive because everybody wants to look like they have more money. And
Yeah.
there's another quote that kind of goes along with that from Rudyard Kipling. Do not pay much attention to power, fame, or money. One day you will meet someone who cares about none of these things, and then you will know how poor you really are. That right there goes right along with that because, like,
Mm.
everybody cares so much about this stuff and looking like they've got money. And when you start to realize that it doesn't actually make you happy, and there are people that have all the money in the world and they are just absolutely like depressed and like hate
Mhm.
everything, you start to realize how much consumerism has like destroyed our happiness in the US. Like people want all of these things for what? A lot of it
Yeah.
is literally to impress people that we don't even like. It's like you want to buy things and buy houses to impress people you don't even like. It's crazy.
Yeah. I get it, bro. That's what I used to, collect sneakers, and then I got to a point I was like, I'm just buying these so people on the internet think I'm cool. Like I'm done. Like I don't even play ball with these. Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
now I have one pair of Kobe's and I wear them every day.
Yeah.
But
Dude, I mean shit, that's
yeah,
how I have a bunch of exotic boots and I never wear them. I'm always freaking in work clothes. I never even wear them. I mean, it's like everybody falls into this trap, and when you start to realize how ridiculous it is, like it makes me want to get rid of everything. Makes me want to get rid of all of my
yeah,
stuff. I got so much stuff that's just like laying around, and I'm like, how do I have all this stuff? I don't need all this stuff.
yeah,
Like I don't use any of it. It's just there. So
yeah. Feel
yeah.
you, dog.
Well, that's
Well, we got our third and final question, which we'll see if it'll keep you on the same thing. But the question is, are trades really the future, or is it all just hype? Like, or is this just this big pie in the sky like we've been talking about, and everyone's got these high expectations of it? Or do you think that like a career of the future in the trade, like do you think that's really the future for people to go to? Or is it a little bit of both? I think it's a little bit of both myself.
yeah. Yeah, I think that plays into everything we've talked about, even our tangent.
Mm-hmm.
Do not pay much attention to power, fame, or money. I think the main issue across the board is that people want to look like they're rich and they want to pretend to be someone else. But the problem is you are like, they'll see people on social media that are doing, let's say they're a doctor or something. They have all of this stuff, right? You don't know what their bank
Mhm.
account looks like. You don't know if they are, leveraged to the freaking hilt, if they're paycheck to paycheck. Like a lot of times that's how it is. A lot of people are just like trying to look rich rather than just being happy. So I think people have unrealistic expectations for how much you should make at every single job because you have
Mhm.
unrealistic expectations about what you want to do. I mean, imagine how many people think that they should be able to have this big fancy house, big fancy cars, be able to travel wherever they want and work 20 hours a week. Like everybody thinks
Mhm.
that somehow. Like there's so many people
You
that
bet.
think that that's a reality, and that's never been a reality. So I mean, there's a very top like echelon of people that can do that. Getting back to the trades, I think about it a lot because it worries me a little bit that people are going to get in there and like have unrealistic expectations and
Mhm.
at the start and then get discouraged and then go on to say something like what we've heard before, that it's not worth it, you don't make enough money, don't do all this stuff.
Mhm.
I think you can have a really good life. I know a lot of people that are really successful that have either gotten their start in the trades or like been in the trades and they're a master at what they do and they enjoy what they do and they live very well. I
Mhm.
think I think it is the future because of what we've talked about, how the trades are probably pretty similar the next 10 to 20 years ish. It's pretty hard to
Mhm.
get the technology to like make much of a difference, I think. We didn't even really talk about what the next 10 to 20 years could look like for other industries. I mean, imagine in 10 or 20 years, do we think that everybody's going to be going to an accountant to do their taxes? I mean,
No.
TurboTax already kind of replaces that for a lot of people. We go into an accountant, but do we think that there's going to be enough technology around and AI technology to like 100% replace accountants and tax people? Probably.
Mhm.
I would imagine so. And then the systems they interface with, like the IRS, could come out with some freaking technology that makes them obsolete. Like you just do your
Mhm.
taxes through like the government website or something. Now, I don't really think that would
Mhm.
happen because the government sucks and the government probably wouldn't be able to come up with something like that because they run like crap. So I don't think they'd be able to make. But imagine that. Imagine they just make it so you just go do this comprehensive exam and give all your information in, and then your taxes are just done, and it's just through
Mhm.
the government, so you don't even have the middleman, which is the tax person. Like I think trades are the future because it's hard to look at that scenario and say, oh yeah, I mean, you can't just get rid of them. Like we
Yeah.
have all of this infrastructure that needs to be built and it's going to continue, and we're short on houses, and it seems like we're always short on houses. I think it is. I think it's is the future, sort of. I think it's also a little bit too hyped up, but at the same time, I think maybe we need to get attention over
Mhm.
there. Yeah. No, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think in all senses of trade, like it's realistic to create a proper future in this.
Mhm,
I think there's obviously a difference between like stagnant jobs and like high skilled jobs. Like if you're gonna go join something that just you just stay right here and you think that you should get a raise because you showed up and like all that sort of stuff. Like yeah, you're gonna be down here.
mhm,
But if you show up and you're trying to learn stuff every day and you're trying to better yourself every day, like construction gives you a really clear path to like what's the next step. Okay, well if I get good at this, then I become this. And then if I get good at that, I become that. And then, there's an easy way to climb that mountain, right? And it's all kind of laid out for you of like, okay, this you do this, you get this. It's all kind of merit based. So I think
mhm,
construction
mhm,
itself, I think it is and can be the future for a lot of people. And I think that like as time goes on, like you're going to see more and more interest in people coming into the trades because other task oriented jobs are going to kind of like be taken care of by AI and those sort of things. So you're going to see more people that are like, okay, well, if I go, learn how to do things with my hands and learn how to be skilled, like that's a kind of a future proof situation for myself. So I think those sort of people that are going to look at it and do that, like I think it is the future. But I do think there's a lot of hype about it as well, and I think there's a lot of things online that people do poorly. I think they mislead people
Mhm,
into thinking that you're gonna make 100 grand because you've been here for 6 months. I think that we, like, people don't do a good job of showing like, "Oh, yeah, like, I make, 200 grand a year, but I also work 60 to 80 hours a week." Like, they don't
mhm,
show that part. They just show, like, well, I drive a brand new Platinum and I've got a fifth wheel in the back. Well, you earn that because you barely get to sit in it because you're at work. Like, I
mhm,
think we do a poor job. I think we do a poor job at that. But like you said, like a little bit of it, like it's a shiny lure for fish. It does good at bringing, it's good bait.
mhm,
But I think as an industry as a whole, we need to do a very good job about tempering expectations. And, like you and I have talked about before, the first couple years is education. It's no different than anything else. Like you're not gonna come in
mhm,
and make a boatload of money right in the first. Like, I mean, some places do, but until you get your feet under you and your skills up and your knowledge base, your solid foundation, and like get all that sort of stuff, that takes a couple years. You're not going to make a ton of money, but you're also not going to college and putting yourself into 40 to $100,000 of debt. You're getting paid while you're learning, and then at the end of your 4 years, you've got your certifications, your skills. You're probably going to make a lot of money, and then, like I said, or you be on the path to making a lot of money, and then, like I said, you have the clear way to climb that ladder to get to the next spot, to go from labor to skilled worker to operator to business owner to whatever it may be. Like, it's all right there in front of you. It's pretty
mhm,
transparent. So I think in that
yeah,
sense, yes, it is the future, but I do think that a lot of people are doing a very poor job and creating a lot of hype around it, but not actually educating people
mhm,
about what really goes on in this.
yeah. Well, I think an important thing to point out is as I talk to people that are our age, you just turned 32, right?
33.
33?
33.
Yeah, so I'm about to turn 28. Sort of, we're in the same ballpark. When I talk to people that are in their late 20s, early 30s,
Mhm.
there's like a lot of people that are really, really dissatisfied or uncertain about their job. I think
Mhm.
there's like this is the time and of most people's careers where they're in uncomfortable positions and they're just kind of putting their time in and getting experience and skills in order to then later make more money and get into higher paying positions. Like, I hear from people that are all across the spectrum when I'm out and about talking to people, I guess, and
Mhm.
at parties and stuff, like whatever. Like we were just at a party the other day where I kind of got the sense from some people that they weren't really happy with what they were doing. I mean, they were like, "Yeah, it's kind of just whatever," and one of them was like a physician, and one of them was like a physical therapist and stuff. And I'm like, "Huh,
Mhm.
interesting." You think a lot of people think you get to that position and you're like, "Oh, I'm set," but
Mhm.
in any career, in the early stages, it's always like this constant, "Oh, I'm not sure if this is going to be right. I'm not sure if I'm going to, be successful at this. Like, I don't know where this is going to go." I think the trades do a pretty good job of showing you where you can go. But in general,
Mhm.
in this age group, I think a lot of people are kind of uncertain in their positions and in their job because you're just putting in the time. And we've talked about that before.
Mhm.
Like your first few years in a trade, you're putting in the time. Really, your
Mhm.
first 10 years in any job, any position, you're putting in time, you're getting experience, and you're becoming a master at something. And I think when you get really good at something, that's when it starts to become like actually enjoyable to do. So like we have
Mhm.
these weird conceptions about you get into this dream job where you're just going to love it immediately. I don't think that's how it works anywhere because it's
Mhm.
a job still. It's not like you can just go I mean, some people get into their passions and stuff and they have careers where they absolutely love it, but most people get into jobs where they kind of grow into a passion for their job, and a lot of times it happens over like a course of 10 years. I mean, look at you. Can you say over the
Mhm.
last 10 years that you've kind of liked your job more as you've gotten better, more experienced and been able to do more, and then you're like, "Oh wow, like I can see where I can go. I can do everything. I'm confident in what I
Mhm.
do, and it's actually enjoyable."
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think that's kind of things we need to start telling people, right? Like you're going to
Mm,
be in a position for a long time where it's like it's hard because you're learning stuff and you're not an expert, and you're going
mm,
to be kind of uncertain if you're going to like it, even if you do. And that's how everybody is, and that's okay. The grass is, a lot of people are like, the grass is always greener. It's,
mm,
if you can get past that feeling in any position, I think in any career you can enjoy it. Like I say, they do, people clean shitters for a living, and some people enjoy that. Whatever.
yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah,
saying.
yeah. I think I agree with you. I think if you can, it's definitely a industry where if you can delay your gratification a little bit, it'll take care of you on the back end. So it's like you're not going to show up into a brick masonry crew. You're not going to get rich tomorrow, but 10, 15 years down the road, when you're really confident in your skills and you can handle your own business and you can do you can show up, you know how to build everything, like that sort of stuff. Yeah, you're going to start making a lot of money because you become valuable and you specialize in those sort of things, like 100%. So it depends what game you want to play. So,
Mhm.
but like I said, I do think it's a very, very viable future for a lot of people.
How do you know if you picked the right trade? So we kind of are going along this line of, is it viable? What are the next 10, 20 years like? Let's say you're in one. How do you know if
Mhm.
you picked the right one?
Dude, if your Instagram feed is about what you do, maybe. No,
Yeah.
that's sarcasm. But like, I mean, my For You page is bricklaying and some other things. But I think, yeah, it's obviously like you and I both talked about this. I didn't just jump into this and love it right out the gate. I kind of grew into it, like you said. But I think you picked the right one when you're able to show up every day, kind of look forward to it, be curious about it, all those sort of things, and like that keeps growing for you. Because obviously, like, there's a lot of people that are interested in what we do and things like that, and they're like, see it, but then you get it, and it kind of like, the shiny object syndrome wears off and whatnot. But I think if you're able to do what you're doing and you still have your curiosity peaked, you're still growing, and there's still that sort of stuff in that lane that you're in. I think that's how you know when you're home, if that makes sense. Like I still
Hmm.
show up every day and I'm like, cool, like, how does this work? How do I achieve that? Or like, I'm on the back end of things now and I'm learning like, okay, well, like, why did the engineer design it this way? And how can I put this in front of my guys so that they succeed? And like that sort of stuff. Or like, how do I hop in there and, like
Hmm.
knock this out and get them, where it is, and I can go pick up a side job or something and like kind of like flex my creative freedom and those sort of things. Like that, all that. There's a little ecosystem that's been built because I've been in it long
Hmm.
enough. But like, if you can see yourself doing that
Hmm.
for yourself, then yeah, I think you're in the right spot. But if you're just showing up to work because like, cool, man, like I got this job when I was like 22, and I'm here. Like that's obviously like that's obvious that it's not the thing you're at. But I think if you're passionate about it and it's something that keeps your curiosity alive and you can still kind of learn things every day, you can still see that path to growth and how to get ahead and those sort of things, then I think you're in the right spot. But that's my professional
Hmm.
opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I agree with that. I mention it all the time though. Like, most people don't have these dream jobs. Like, you grow into jobs that you kind of
Mhm,
fall into almost, like, and you can do that. It's not like you're limited.
mhm,
Like, you've got this elusive dream job that you're going to chase down. If you're in a position where you can constantly be learning and it's keeping you engaged in what you're doing, I think you're
mhm.
probably in the right place. I mean, even today, like, as of now, there are days I actually dread going into work, and then there's days I'm really excited to
Yeah,
go into work. It
yeah.
happens. Like, everybody has those. There's days when we're doing stuff that's just kind of monotonous and tedious, and it's like, same thing over and over again. Days like that, it isn't really that exciting. But then again,
Mhm,
more often than not, it seems like, especially the last couple years, come Monday, I'm actually excited to get out and go to work and go do things,
mhm,
after the weekend. Like, a lot of people look forward to the weekend. I kind of look forward to the weekend, but only because I know I can kind of relax and take a load off, we'll say. But
mhm,
I start to look forward to going to work, to getting out and like actually creating and building things. I start to enjoy it and look forward to it.
mhm,
So I think if you can get to that place, that's a really good place to be. Let yourself, like, be open to it. Like, people will be so closed off to it because they're like, this isn't my dream job. And I
Mm,
think you got to give things a chance where you are
yeah.
and give it a good chance. I mean, not like there's a lot of people that, like you said, they're just showing up because they showed up when they were 22 and they're just have a job. That's
Mhm.
miserable and lame. So you probably should try to find something different or take a different attitude approach to it. And I mean, I think that's how it happens a lot is it's your attitude that helps turn your kind of your career into, I mean, it's an attitude of opportunities, right? Like you're looking at it, you're
Mhm.
looking at your job and you're seeing opportunities and you're seeing growth rather than just being like, I'm just here to get money. I'm just here to get a paycheck.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a,
Yeah.
I had a dude because I posted that video. It's of the audio from Andy Frisell talking about if you take brick masons and have them lay a straight wall, they're not going to be as stoked about it as if they get to build, something beautiful.
Yeah.
And, everyone has a gripe with this because they're like, oh, well, whatever. But one dude was like, this is total BS, dude. He goes, bricklayers show up, they do their job, they go home, they collect their check on Friday, and then whatever. He goes, and I know because I did it for 45 years. And I responded, I was like, dedicating 45 years of your life to something you don't give a shit about is wild, bro. Like, and he never responded to me, but I was just like, dude, I was like, don't be that person. Like, find the thing that you
Dude.
give it, like, that you care about.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's also worth noting that we've talked about we mentioned England just barely,
Mm,
or not just barely at the beginning of the episode, but yeah, obviously kind of just barely.
about an hour ago.
So yeah, over over there have a completely different work culture, and we have some people listening to the podcast that are from. I actually was going to post the breakdown of countries. I think 15 people from 15 countries listen to the podcast, which is crazy.
Oh,
But
that's sick.
they right over there, it's kind of like they don't have the consumerism. Like what was the phrase I used? Affluenza, luxury fever thing that we have. Like you
Hmm.
just kind of over there, you just kind of like do what you do, and you just
Hmm.
kind of show up to work and just kind of fall into line and do what you're. I don't want to say born to do, but like what you start almost.
Hmm.
From what I've heard, I mean, I'm sure it's different. Everybody has different opinions and stuff, but like they don't look at everything and see opportunities over there, and they're not seeing it like, okay, I'm going to go work at this job for a year and then I'm going to start a business.
Hmm.
It doesn't really work like that over there. And one of my cousins is married to someone from there and they live over there. So we've had kind of conversations around that before. He was saying basically you don't go work somewhere for 6 months a year or whatever and then just go start a business. Like it just doesn't work like that. So we have this idea that we need to like shoot way up here, but
Hmm.
I think there's something to be said about kind of resigning yourself to taking it step by step, because everybody wants to move so fast because they want to get this, they've got this luxury fever, they want to be making all the money and stuff. But it's okay to
Hmm.
be, step by step and take it little by little, because that's how it needs to be done. And if you're not letting yourself do that at least a little bit, you're going to be continually unhappy with
Hmm.
everything you do, because everything is going to move way too slow and it's going to take way too long, and oh, I don't have this right now, I'm not successful, I suck. Like that's the type of stuff that happens over here because we have these lofty ideas, and part of it has contributed to American success, and part of it has contributed to a lot of depression and a lot of mental health issues, because like a lot of people just think that they should be better than they are. And
Yeah.
I think you need to be aware of where you are in the moment, and just step by step. There's something to be said about that.
On the flip side, though, if you are someone who believes in unrealistic expectations and schedules and thinking about where you should be, you should try being a superintendent. You'd be really good at it.
Facts. Maybe
Why aren't
that's
we
why
done
we
yet?
have such crappy superintendents, dude. Maybe that's why. Everybody's like,
Maybe.
I want it, and I want it right now. Like that's how everybody is.
I know it rained for the last 3 days, but why aren't you done?
Why isn't this concrete poured? I know it's been crappy weather
Yeah.
forever, why aren't you just done already? Yeah, dude.
But
Awesome.
yeah, dude, that was awesome. That
I
was a good
think we
one.
got
I
those
think that was
pretty good.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good
Yeah.
conversation. I like that one. But cool.
Yeah. So on the next ones we'll try to do better about collecting questions.
Yeah.
I don't
Don't try
like
to
the
remember
word
what day
try,
it is.
right? But we actually, I guess, yeah, we'll be doing better about that. And thanks for tuning in. And as always, if you got something out of this, like and share, subscribe, leave a rating and review. All of that stuff really helps to push the podcast in front of people that might like it just like you do. And as always, I appreciate everybody listening. And I appreciate you, Jesse. And we will see you guys next time.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, dog. If you see me, keep turning around.